Hello everyone, in this video we're going to follow the lab 8 that's on the GitHub, AZ500 Azure Security lab module 1, and in this one we're going to learn how to protect our Azure resources with resource manager lock. And that's pretty important, especially when you have all of your resources they're deployed in a cloud environment, and maybe you have a production, a development, an integration resource group, and you do not want someone to delete any of those groups by mistake. Okay, and this feature would allow you to add the security so that no one can. So if I read this scenario just a little, a resource manager locks provide a way for administrators to lock down Azure resources to prevent deletion or changing of a resource. These locks sit outside the role-based access control hierarchy, and when applied will place the restriction on the resource for all users. So that's pretty important. These are very useful when you have an important resource in your subscription which users should not be able to delete or change, and can help prevent accidental and malicious changes or deletion. So there are usually two different resource lock, and we're going to take a look into that. One is cannot delete, another is read only. So cannot delete means you can write, you can even change the resource type. Maybe you have a disk with 100 gigs, you want to make it 500, so you can do that. So you can upgrade the storage for that account, but you cannot delete anything from that resource group. Read only is more restrictive usually, so that means you cannot append anything, you cannot write. It's only available for reading only. Okay, so we'll look into that. Permissions to set and remove locks require access to one of the following RBAC permissions. So your role, you should have Microsoft authorization, that permission available to you, or Microsoft.authorization/logs, those two authorization that you need to have in your RBAC role. Now by default these actions are only available to owner, user access administrator, built-in RBAC roles. So usually if you're the owner of a resource group, or you are the user access administrator, UAA, those two permissions are built in for you. But if you're creating a custom role, you gotta make sure to add these two permissions, so that the custom role, anyone in that role, if they want to add this lock, they will need these permissions. So what to do? So here locks can be created both at the time of creation of a resource inside an ARM template, or later by using portal or the PowerShell. Okay, so here what they're saying, creating a locks, the best way to create a lock are in place, and protecting your resources is to create them at the runtime and configure them in your ARM template. So that's the best practice out there. So when you're creating a resource group, let's create the lock as well. Locks are top level ARM resources. They do not sit underneath the resource being locked. They refer to the resource being locked. So this must exist first. Okay, so here open the Cloud Shell and run the following command to create a resource group and storage account. So what they're doing, we're going to create a new resource group. So new AZ resource group is the PowerShell command, where I'm saying the name is the lock.rg, and we want to deploy this resource in East US. So I'm using Ubuntu, but I have a PowerShell installed and I'm already connected, so I can run this command from my Ubuntu PowerShell window. It will just take a minute. So once I run this is my resource group. Now it's being created. Lock.rg, location is East US, is succeeded, and I also got the resource ID right in here. Okay, so this portion is done. So next, new Azure storage account. So what it's gonna do, it's gonna add a new storage account, and what is the resource group? Where do we want to create? It's inside the lock rg. So that's the resource group that we created in the previous command. We're gonna put some name and location. We're gonna keep the same location, and then we're also going to provide SQ name, standard LRS, and kind storage v2. Okay, so we'll copy this. So this is some standard for creating a storage account, and you can use other parameters as well, but this is I'm going to use. And what's is just change this to something unique, so that storage account name has to be unique. So let's go back to this window, put it in here, and let's come back to this, and let's see, cool. All right, I'll just say cold storage. Okay, and I hit enter. If it's unique, we should see some output pretty soon like this, that should say that yeah, I've got that storage account created for us, which is a storage v2 type, with standard LRS. Here, there we go, it's done. So cold storage is the name of the account, storage account name. Resource group name is the lock rg. Primary location, as we said, is US. SQ name, standard LRS. Kind is storage, and accessibility is hot. Okay, that means always available to me. All right, so we're done up to this. So now it's telling locate on storage account unselected, and click on the locks button, and then we're going to add the lock. So let's go over here and let's click on the resource groups, and there should be the new resource group lock rg right here that's just got created. And in this one you should be able to see a lock under the storage account. So let's go, actually you can put the lock at multiple levels. That's something else I didn't really mention. For this one, they're saying they put the lock at the resource group level, so you see the lock. If I wanted, I can also go down to this storage level, and I believe, yeah, the storage level you can also have the lock. So you can also define the lock at the storage level as well. Look at the resource level. So for now we'll stick to the lab, so we'll add that lock to the resource level. So what's telling is go to the storage account. Actually it's going to the storage account and then it's locking that. So let's go to the storage account. So they actually did went to this and to the storage account, and then they're trying to add the lock in particular to that storage account only, and we'll create one, add one. And here it's saying just critical storage lock, and it's a delete type lock. Okay, so let's do that. Critical storage, and what kind of lock is that? It's a delete type lock, so you won't be able to delete. And then I can say, yeah, okay, create the lock. So once the lock in place, you can no longer delete that storage account. Okay, now remove the lock by simply going back to the locks button and then go to delete. So if we wanted to delete this lock, okay, so we can just click on delete over here. But before we do that, let's go back over here. Okay, then if I click on this delete button, and if I say, hold on, goals, I don't want to delete this, so I'm gonna go back in here. So you already added a lock to this resource. If I click on delete, it should not allow. So it's saying cold storage cannot be deleted because the resource has a delete lock. See that? So the lock must be removed before the resource can be deleted. So I can no longer delete. So if I wanted to delete this lock, all I need to come back to the locks again. Okay, and I can click on the delete button to get rid of the lock. So let's go back and see what else do we have to do in this lab. So open Cloud Shell. It's adding a lock using PowerShell. Okay, so lock level cannot delete lock name critical storage lock. So okay, so they're we're gonna run the same command. So let's first go and get rid of this delete block. Okay, so now I have nothing over here, so I'm gonna run this command. Okay, I just need to remember the resource group name, and the resource group name is the lock rg. Okay, so go back to my parcel, put it here, and resource group name is lock rg. So resource name is cold storage, right? Hold on. Let's get rid of this real quick. Okay, this is still, let me go to right here. So that's the resource name. So it's telling, oh, it's so it's saying it's remove a resource group, but we have already deleted that, so we don't really need it. So this is the one that we need to run. So new Azure lock. Okay, so let's get this one. Actually, you know what, so I can go and just change the remove to new, and that should add a new. Let's try that out. New. Okay, now it's asking me for a lock level. Lock level supply values for the following parameters. Lock level, we did not assign lock level, so here let's see when we were creating, if we were adding anything. Lock level is cannot delete. Lock level is cannot delete. Okay, are you sure you want to create the following lock? Just say yes, and there we go, you got it. So we come back over here, refresh this page. I should see the new lock being created. So let's take a look at it. It may take just a minute sometimes. Yeah, yes, critical storage lock. So it's a delete type lock. Here's the cold storage. Okay, so that's being created. To get rid of this lock, you run the same command really, and instead of doing new, you're gonna change this to remove. Okay, and so again it's asking, are you sure you want to delete this lock? And I'm just gonna say yeah, go ahead, and that's it. So it's true, it's all good. So if I come here and refresh this, it should not see that resource lock in place anymore, and it's gone. Similarly, you can also add a read-only lock as well, and that will not allow you to do anything with this resource. Okay, let me go back to the lab, and that's pretty much the end of it. By using resource logs, you can put in place an extra line of defense. It should be logs, a defense against accidental or malicious changing and or deletion of your most important resource. Okay, hope this is pretty easy to follow for you, and hope you don't have any trouble, assigning logs. So use it for your cloud resources and secure yourself. Thanks for watching the video.